and not too many countries to say we the greatest when, especially if you lack it in one area or the other. Well, because America always have something the greatest athlete, the greatest rapper, the greatest actor, the greatest actress.
Are they the ones pushing that narrative, or is it the real deal? What you think, American? Mm-hmm. You're the American. What you think? Yeah. If this conversation goes a different direction and America feels that they were not represented, blame the American. This man in the world lives in America, but he's not American. America is really not a United States. Like, it should be called different states of America.
Yes, they
because every state has its own laws. Let's chill. Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Welcome once again to another episode of Chilling with the Chaplins with your host, Lady Caesar, and
your boy, Coach LJ. What's good, everyone? What's up? What's poppin'?
Yeah, so today we are here with the episode you've all been waiting for. We've been saying we're going to do this for a while. Disclaimer, I love the United States of America. Everything that I'll be saying here is not because I'm trying to put this country down, but it's a conversation that needs to be said, and it's a controversial topic.
Yeah.
So I know some people will be hurt because I've been getting a lot of heat out there when I question the fact, is America great, the greatest country in the world?
Yes.
I'm not questioning it because I'm looking down upon America. America is my home. But I'm questioning it because I live here and I see certain things that don't make it that great. Mm-hmm. But today in this episode, we are going to explore that and see if I'm wrong or if the Americans are right. And the point is not to prove that I'm wrong or right.
Oh, right. Yes.
The point is just to put a spotlight on the meaning of what greatness is. Can we do better to actually make it the greatest country in the world? Because that is the ultimate, ultimate goal is to make America great again.
Yes. Again, too, this is an educational self-improvement podcast. So, everything that would come out is to better ourselves, better our community, better our world that's around us. So even when we talk about different topics, not just in America, but in South Africa, is not it's not to put a particular country down, but is to learn and to strategize and see what can we do to make the country better.
Not really. Also, that, yes, I agree with you, but also to
bring awareness to different stigmas, the different stigmas that's out there.
And to create conversation, because fortunately we represent two countries, which is the United States and South Africa, that are democratic countries, which means there's also freedom of speech.
Yes.
So the fact that there's freedom of speech, it means that I can speak my mind and I can come up with my own opinions about matters, which sometimes are not necessarily politically correct or might not be agreeing with certain people. But it's my opinion, and I stand to speak on those and also not be afraid to be crushed or to be trolled on social media because I spoke on what I believe is the truth.
Yes.
We will be talking about the controversial question, is America the greatest country in the world? From economic power to education, healthcare, and cultural influence, we'll want to explore whether the U.S. of A lives up to its underlined proclaimed title. Spoiler alerts, okay? Greatness isn't always about being number
one.
It's about addressing challenges and opportunities with honesty and a commitment to improvement. So let's get into it.
Let's get into it.
So how to measure greatness? Let's look at that. How do we evaluate whether a country is the greatest? Is it by its military, economy, education, or overall happiness? What's your thoughts around that?
I think they all play a part. Yes, America has top-notch military, but
I think it is the best in the
yes,
world.
in the world when it comes to military, yes,
Military, we're pretty strong.
yes,
That's why certain countries are afraid to even attack us.
Yes.
Because they know we can crush them in a day.
yes. But that just don't. But the military alone just don't make American great. And like you just
Rightfully said.
rightfully said,
Rightfully stated.
with the healthcare and the educational system. So yeah, so it takes everything to make a country great. And
Right.
some things America is good, and some things they're lacking, and that's what
Right.
we're going to discuss today.
Yes, absolutely. So here's the problem. The U.S. claims, I won't say it's a problem, but here's the challenge. Let me say challenge rather. Or here's a statement, because I don't want you guys attacking me. America or the U.S. claims global greatness, but many of the metrics, because we're going to look at facts, all right? Like education rankings, healthcare accessibility, and life expectancy tell a different story. So what is the story?
What is the story?
In international rankings, the U.S. often lags behind Nordic countries. And we know what Nordic countries are.
Yeah, like Northern Europe.
Yeah, like the Scandinavia and etc. Yeah. So we know that, I think number one in happiness when we did that episode was...
Yes, it was, I think, Finland?
Finland. Yep,
Finland.
yep. In fact, Finland was ranking number one in almost
A lot of different
lot
things,
of
yes,
things.
and a lot of things.
So
yes.
maybe Finland should take this
Yes.
and make it theirs.
The greater country,
They could
yes.
be the greatest country.
They can say, maybe they can say. But again, it goes along with the military,
economy.
So, so a lot of times, not too many countries to say we the greatest when, especially if you lack it in one area or the other.
Well, America lacks in a lot of areas too. Okay?
Yes.
So, but
all countries lack in a lot of
all
areas.
countries.
Yes.
I don't think there is a perfect country out there.
No, it's no
And
perfect
all
country.
countries have their challenges. Yeah.
Yes.
So
the greatest in the eyes of the beholder.
exactly, it's a really subjective matter.
Yes.
Like it's a subjective topic because, of course, if you're patriotic about your country, you'll think it's the greatest country in the world.
Yes.
Absolutely, like how I think my country is the greatest country in the world, South Africa. But I know if I'm really honest with myself, it's not. Far from it. It has so many challenges, so many problems, but as a citizen of that country, of course I want to be patriotic and I want to make the world see the goodness of the country. But does that necessarily mean it's the greatest in Africa or in the world? Absolutely not. So we go back to the fact that we're asking the question, is America really the greatest country in the world? And trust me, this is not a way to put America down, but to reflect and see where we can make changes, where we can do better as a nation.
Yes.
And America is my adoptive country. It's my country of marriage. I love it to bits. Hence, I chose to stay here. But does it mean that it's a perfect country? Absolutely not. But does that mean that it can improve in certain areas?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely. Most definitely.
Right.
100%. Yes.
So, like we were talking about international rankings, the U.S. really lags behind in certain things compared to countries like Japan and Germany and, like we rightfully said, Finland in healthcare and technology. So the question is, let me not say the questions. I'm going to try and really be careful with my wording because what defines greatness?
What defines greatness?
That's the question. What defines greatness?
Like we said, it's subjective. It depends how you see it and how you see yourself.
Is it the rankings
Yes.
of countries, or is it how the citizens see the country? Like, what do you think defines greatness? Because a lot of Americans brag about America being the greatest country in the world.
Yeah.
And as citizens, they have the right to do that
Yes.
because they are being patriotic.
Yes.
But are the numbers saying...
Yes. Yeah, because a lot, it's just not like with the country, because America always have something, the greatest athlete, the greatest rapper, the greatest actor, the greatest actress.
Are they the ones... pushing that narrative, or is it the real deal? Because remember, if you're saying the greatest athletes, yes, okay, I agree. In the Olympics, they get a lot of golds. But there are other countries that can claim that same title.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, America always say the greatest this or the greatest that. So, and what might be great to me might not be great to you.
Absolutely.
So it depends on.
So I guess we have to define what does greatest mean.
And basically, it depends on. I believe it depends on your values, what you define great. Because I might say one person is a great rapper or country, and you might say something different. But again, because of freedom of speech, we have the right to have a different opinions.
Exactly.
And not and no one is wrong because I say one particular thing is great or not. I can't, and I can't say you are wrong for saying, it's about, because we all have a different opinion.
Let's define greatness.
Okay, please.
Greatness is the quality of being outstanding, exceptional, and distinguished in a way that sets someone or something apart from the ordinary. That's profound.
Okay.
It encompasses excellence, influence, and impact.
Okay.
Often categorized by perseverance, integrity, and a dedication to purpose. Greatness isn't confined to achievements. Okay. That's a good point.
Yes, it's not defined by achievements.
Or recognition. That's a good point, which means you don't necessarily have to be number one in the world.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, I get you, America. I get you on that one. That's a point on America. But it can be seen in acts of kindness. Questionable, America. Resilience in adversity. Yes, I give that to America. They really resilient in adversity. What you think, American? You're the American. What you think? Yeah. If this conversation goes a different direction and America feels that they were not represented, blame the American, please. He's supposed to be here to speak facts, yes, but also to defend his country. Okay. So, what do you think on America being resilient in adversity?
I agree. We are resilient.
You are resilient.
Yeah, I agree.
Like, give me an example of where you were resilient.
Well, throughout time, through a different crisis.
I think a good example is 9/11, how you guys came together as a country.
9/11, civil rights movement, the Cold War, the recessions, so all the different
So here's another thing. So we're still defining greatness. It's the ability to inspire. America is good in inspiration. That's why most countries look up to America and uplift others. It is both an internal journey of self-mastery. Okay, America needs to work on the internal self. And an external manifestations of one ability to make a meaningful difference in the world. And I can give that to America. They have made a meaningful difference to the world. Like you said, the richest man, okay, you didn't say this, but I'm saying it. The richest man in America, richest man in the world lives in America, but he's not American. He is a triple citizen.
Triple citizen.
Because he was born in South Africa. I'm doing that because that's my country, okay, of birth. His mom was born in Canada, so he is able to be a Canadian.
That's why he's able to be a Canadian. Okay. Yeah.
His grandfather was born in America. He's American. His grandfather, but because of his billionaire status, he was able to be American.
Whoa. What is his father?
He's South African.
His father is South African.
Yeah, but his grandfather is American.
Oh, his father's South African.
Yeah.
Okay. Cause I'm about to question the blood thing,
No, his father is definitely South African.
I'm just saying.
And his mother is, you could say she's South African because she lived all her life in South Africa. She was just born in Canada. Yeah. And Canada happens to be like, if you watch one of our episodes where we talk about citizenship through blood and through by land. Yeah. So she happened to be born in Canada. Yeah. So which makes her a Canadian, although she grew up in South Africa.
Yes. But but the father was South African. Okay. Yeah, different story from Moses Pete.
Yeah.
Okay, the father was African. Okay, okay.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah. So when you look at that definition of greatness, I you know what? I want to give it to America. They tick most of those boxes, okay? Because we like the definition says, it's not by recognition, like having given an award to say you're number one in this, number one in that.
It's about the different characteristics
Of how they
integrity and different so yeah.
So if you look at like the hard powers of economy and military with the soft power of culture, equality and innovation, then you can probably say America could be the greatest country in the world.
But it's just not with that though.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. So let's look how to face the truth about the healthcare dilemma. Okay. Can a country be the greatest if millions cannot afford to see a doctor? Because the truth of the matter is that is the reality of America. Okay. Not just illegal immigrants. In fact, illegal immigrants are the ones who are able to see a doctor over legal immigrants.
For real?
Yeah, because they get so many benefits.
Yeah, they do get a lot of benefits.
That's why Americans want them out. Bring America back again. I'm for that. Peace. And
they do get a lot of benefits.
They get a lot of benefits.
Yeah.
Most legal people, citizens,
you got to go through. It's a lot of red tape. You got to have insurance when they're legal. Because they're illegal, they don't have they don't need all the insurance.
And they're covered by so many things.
Yes.
Yeah. So, but the question,
they automatically get Medicaid.
Right. So let's go back to the question: can a country be the greatest if millions of people cannot even afford to see a doctor?
When you got places like Europe and Finland and have the free healthcare.
Yeah. So America, the thing is, America spends a lot of money on healthcare.
Yeah, I know. Big business.
Than any other nation. Do you believe that?
Yeah, I do. The Food and Drug Administration is big business.
Because they charge people a lot of money.
Exactly. And my question is, do they really want America to be healthy? That's my question. I don't know.
Because a lot of things...
Let us know in the chat.
Right?
Do Americans really want this country to be healthy?
No, because pharmaceutical business or industry is big money.
That's how they make
and that's why you find so many people leave the U.S. and go to third world countries to go seek medical help.
Medical help, yeah.
They go to the Turkeys, they go to, maybe not third world, but Europe and to seek cheaper medical health because it's so expensive in this country. Because sometimes I was very surprised when I moved into this country, when I realized that my medical insurance doesn't necessarily cover 100% of my medical care. I have to take out something you guys call a, what do you call it? When you have to pay out of pocket for certain things.
Copay.
And by the way, I'm talking like this is premium insurance. But you still have to have a copay for certain things. And so you always have to pay out of pocket for something. Some drugs are not covered by insurance. Some blood tests are not covered by insurance. You don't go to a doctor in this country and be like, insurance paid for it. Most cases you get followed by another bill.
Yes. Unless you work for the government, they have good policies.
Which is like only federal, really.
State government, they have good insurance.
Right. Okay.
Certain jobs have good insurance if you work for certain jobs.
But we had pretty good insurance.
Yeah, we did.
But we still had to pay some things out of pocket.
Yeah, we did. But yeah, so certain jobs, government, the person that had the best military is the best healthcare is the military. They
deserve it.
Yeah, they had the best. They don't have to pay nothing.
They deserve it.
Yeah, they deserve it.
So like we said, America spends a lot of money on healthcare than any other nations, yet ranks poorly in outcomes like expectancy and infant mortality. We still have a lot of black babies that die before they're even born. And underline black because that's the reality. When you go, I guess, to hospitals or birth centers that are not in affluent suburbs or neighborhoods, there's high infant mortality there. And there's high life expectancy. There's low life expectancy, not high, low life expectancy. So consider this story. Consider a middle class family, devastated by a medical debt despite having insurance. What we just spoke about, because majority of the families in the United States, there is a family member who has a medical debt, like myself. I owe about 5,000 for taking out a tooth.
The one thing I do, I'm the one thing that is good now, though, even though it's a lot of debt, the one thing they did change.
Thank you, Democrats.
Yes, Democrats did it. They did. It don't go against you on your credit report.
Thank you. Thank God.
So that used to go against you, and it used to keep people from getting
homes, cars.
So it kept you from getting these different things, because if you got a debt, and
and majority of black people do.
Most of the
minority.
Most of the minority people is the one that's, because we are the individuals. It's hard for us to afford the medical.
We're working 9 to 5.
Yeah, working 9 to 5.
Most minority.
We don't have good insurance. A lot of them don't have great insurance, so we had to get.
And majority are just working from hand to mouth.
Yes. Especially let's say your family got to go to the emergency rooms, and like you said, everything is not covered on your insurance, because most jobs that we have is not.
Let me give a story, like an example of my story.
Okay.
So I happen to work out of state. I live in New Jersey, so I happen to have a job that made me work in Connecticut, which is a neighboring state. Yes. Had good insurance. But when I had to go to the emergency room in Connecticut, America is really not a United States. Like, it should be called different states of America.
Yes,
because every state has its own law.
Yes.
So I had insurance just because my home, my primary home was in New Jersey. Yeah. I get sick in Connecticut and because of a damn cat, because I'm allergic to cat. I didn't know this. So I had to be rushed into the emergency room.
Yes, I remember this.
And my insurance did not cover my emergency room.
I remember.
My emergency room bill, because it happened in the wrong state.
Yes.
It happened in a state where I do not live in. Mm-hmm. Like, how crazy is that?
Yeah.
I'll make an example. As a South African who happened to be from KwaZulu-Natal, if I would get sick in KwaZulu-Natal, if I would have a primary residence in KwaZulu-Natal, get sick in Cape Town or Johannesburg or Pretoria or whatever, provinces that are out of my primary province, with that same medical insurance, which we call medical aid in South Africa, I would still be fully covered no matter where I go in South Africa. In America, it's a totally different situation.
Different,
You go to a different state, guess what? There's different laws there. Your insurance, which happens to be really good, might not be covered there.
Yeah, it might not be covered in that state.
So I had like almost $3,000 bill for just having spent a couple of hours in an emergency room in another state.
But you know what though? It wasn't the emergency room.
It was the ambulance.
The ambulance. Yes, it was the ambulance bill. This is why black people. This is why a lot of times
I'm in the wrong business.
We don't like to go in the ambulance. We rather drive to the hospital. That is so true. We rather drive to go to the hospital. No ambulance.
I think we need to have another topic or like another podcast on those. Why do American ambulances cost so much? And that most of them are not covered by the insurance.
We rather drive to the emergency room. But here's the thing though, right? This is another reason why the ambulance is so expensive. Because you get top priority when you go in the ambulance. When you go in the emergency room,
you get pushed to the front.
Yeah, you might be in there for hours in that waiting room. But you go to the emergency, if you go to the ambulance, you automatically go to the emergency room.
So it's like business class.
Yeah,
so we pay.
Like business class, yeah.
We're paying for being in business class.
Yeah, you're paying for business class, yeah. That's a good analogy. Yeah. It's like you're paying for business class, because when you go to the hospital on the ambulance, you get priority treatment
because they consider it as an emergency.
It's considered an emergency.
Yeah.
So you go straight to the
You
to the
get
emergency room.
attended. Yeah,
you get attended right away.
But if you come by your
you
car,
come by your
you
car-
could still drive. Okay, you can just wait there.
Especially if you're in busy areas, like Norton, University of Norton.
Yeah.
If you're in busy areas, you could be in that emergency room, for like 10, 24 hours.
What?
Yeah.
I thought America was better than that.
No.
You still wait for so many hours
You can wait a long time.
in an American hospital?
Yeah, you can wait a long time.
Get out of here.
Yeah.
Isn't America a first world country?
Yeah, it doesn't matter. You can wait a long
Ooh,
time.
America.
It's that big because you gotta remember too. Another thing too. The reason why I called out University Hospital in North because University Hospital. Please, correct me if I'm right.
If you're wrong.
If I'm wrong. Or agree with me if I'm right. But University Hospital in our area they do everything. Trauma. So all the trauma patients that deal with the head, it goes to North.
Why are you saying it's in our area? It's not in our area.
Well, you're right. It's not there. So
why is it downgrading us to Newark? I'm sorry,
I know.
Newarkers.
But so if you're in Jersey City and you got a trauma injury, guess where you got to go?
Newark.
University Hospital. If you're
no hospitals in Jersey City cover. Oh wow, that's interesting.
A lot of hospitals around this area don't cover trauma.
Ooh.
So everyone
goes to
University Hospital.
I think it's like King Edward in Durban, like King Edward Hospital, because that's where most of the specialists are.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So this is why University Hospital, you could be in a waiting room for 24 hours. Now,
Bank America 24 hours hospital.
So, but now, if you go to a hospital like Union, well, you might be in a waiting room for maybe a couple hours, or so in areas that's not so.
In America? Do you have like public health care?
Yes, we do. That's called child care.
No, but you have to go to there's no in South Africa. There's public hospitals. And there is private hospitals, like private schools and public schools.
I think every hospital is public.
I think every hospital is private in this country because without your insurance, you owe them a lot of money. They can see you, but you're still going to get a bill.
Because of the law, every hospital has to see you. Yes, because
a bill will follow
Obama put that in.
Yeah, thank you, Obama.
Everyone, they still have to see you.
So before they used to turn you back without insurance?
Yeah. Yeah, they can turn you back.
So you could just die?
Yeah, they don't care.
So are you still the greatest country in the world?
It's a big business.
Wow.
Yeah, so now that's why now Obama put that in, that even though if you're sick and you don't have insurance, they still have to see you.
And give you at least some basic.
Yeah, basic, yeah.
Because even in the hospital in South Africa, like the private, you are still still forced to see you just to get you stable.
Yes.
Once you're stable, you better get out of here.
Yes. So now here's the thing, because of the other law now, because now you have to, it don't go on your credit report. So now hospitals, I know doctors do this. If you don't have insurance, you have to pay cash. They don't want to see you.
They might not. You might not be able to get a claim.
Yeah, and so if they don't get paid, you gotta remember, it's not on your credit report. So you can say you can go to the doctor, never paid it. And then I'm going your insurance.
Like I won't pay that truth. Forget it. Forget about it. Okay, let's move on.
And it cannot be shown on your credit report.
Better not, or else I'll tell my daddy Obama. Okay, let's continue. Let's move on to the next thing. So I guess healthcare wise, America, that's a fail for you.
Yes, they need to do better.
Need to do better. So how then do we fix education, for example? Because we find a lot of Americans, first of all, they don't even know geography. I do not know do they teach geography in classes?
They do.
So how come Americans they teach American geography, not international geography? Because most Americans, I mean, you ask them about anything about the world. I didn't say all, I said most. Okay, don't come for me. They don't know. Like, it's so embarrassing.
Yeah, I know. No, I'm just saying because we don't focus on that.
But are you taught?
We probably taught, but guess what?
Not probably. I'm asking a question. Are you taught or are you not taught?
If you're not using it every day, you're gonna forget it.
What you talking about? We don't, like, for example, in South Africa, majority of South Africans are like Americans. They don't travel as much because they feel like their country has it all, But still, they know international geography.
We know
No,
not
you do
international
not.
geography. No.
That's what I mean.
No.
You're not. Are you taught or are you
Well,
not
you gotta
taught?
remember the school system is broken.
A school system is broken. I believe almost everywhere. Like even South Africa, we have like we had something called the Bantu education. This is like back in apartheid times where black people were not taught certain things. You know, the language for the education for black people was below like standard. It was really, really poor. Hence, many black people were not able to do certain jobs because the system made it that way. So in America, that's a totally different situation because we are past the slavery time, civil rights time.
But the public school is broken, so it doesn't matter what school you go to. Public schools, all public schools
Still
is broken. Yeah, it doesn't matter, white community, black community. The public school system is broken.
Especially in minority areas. Yeah, because there are public schools in good areas, good zip
you'd
codes.
be surprised. Now you'd be surprised.
No, the public school in good areas is really good.
It's broken though. Because you gotta remember, public school was funded by John Rockefeller.
Back then, not now. Now it's funded by the cities and the states.
I know, but that's when it was designed during the industrial times. They haven't changed. The system hasn't been changing, even though it hasn't changed. The reason why they came about for education was because they needed workers in the factory. So they just need you to have a basic understanding so that you can operate in the warehouse, in the factories. Because they don't want you to be like, ignorant when you don't know how to run anything and run the machines. So they need people to at least do a basic understanding to run the machines in these warehouses. This is why.
So you think it's still like that even right now?
Of course. Why? This is why you don't have financial literacy and all these different things. Or don't
but I think
about
times
business.
have changed. I think things have changed.
A little bit. But guess why it changed? It's not the public school education. It's because now the public school education, for someone, they put in a budget for different programs. So these private programs like STEM, it's come to these different schools. So you got a program, curriculum. Now the public school is allowing these different organizations to come in their school to teach these different curriculum. Or you go to a private school. Or you go to a private school and you can get better education.
Okay, so back to the question. The question was, how does a nation stay competitive when it's ranked 25th in math and science globally? This is the United States we're talking about. Because the problem is there's a lot of, like you said, unfunded public schools.
Don't talk about the college. The college is a big Rick Boff.
Right, and there's a lot of high school debt, and disparities in educational access. These disparities undermine the idea of America being the land of opportunity. Because like you just mentioned now, if you go to college, most people, probably 90%, I can be corrected, have student loan debt. So they go to college, but they on credit.
Yes, on credit. And when you graduate, it's hard to get a job. So you go to school.
Is it hard to get a job in America?
Oh, yeah.
So how is America the land of opportunity then if people find it hard to find a job?
Oh, yeah, it's hard. You can have a college degree and still won't find a job.
Wow.
It's hard. Yeah, case in point. But still, college is a big ripoff. Now, I'm for education.
He's actually doing his PhD
I'm doing my
right
PhD
now.
right now. So, but if you're going there with a purpose, but some of these colleges came about, and all they want is your money. They don't really tell you the ins and outs. And sometimes you don't have people that maybe been to school and been through the journey to maybe mentor you, then you kind of lost. Like for myself, I tell college students, because I learned they don't really teach you this. They don't tell you when you're in school. Make sure you do an intern before you graduate.
Internship.
Make sure you do an internship before you graduate. Because a lot of colleges won't tell you this. Because you don't want to graduate right?
Because internship gives you experience.
Yes, to get you experience, and that's what job look at. Yes, you got the degree, but you got no experience.
Right.
So when you graduate, what they're gonna say? Oh,
They need some practical
yeah, you need
experience.
some practical experience. So you're not gonna get hired because you. So I tell people, and another thing I tell people too with your electives, I say, okay, there's another thing schools don't tell you because they don't care. They want your money. They say, oh, with your electives, just take anything, just to pass. But they don't tell you you could use those electives for a minor. Just don't waste your electives. So I tell people minor in a different major. So now you have two certificates.
So I'm kind of lost right now because I don't know what my minor is because we don't go like that in my country.
Major and minor. So you have a major, and then you go minor.
Okay.
So you got minor in a subject. So your major is where your degree. So while you're in school, you have these electives. Do you have electives? You have electives, right?
I think everybody has electives.
So you can take anything you want.
I think so.
So, right?
Okay, this is not the topic for today.
But I'm just saying.
Let's explain it later.
Because I'm trying to explain. So you can take anything you want, right? With electives.
I think so.
So that definitely, just take anything so you pass. So what I do, you can minor in another subject because a lot of times the electives is about 18 credits. So what you can do with those 18 credits, you can take another major and they call it a minor. So now you have a major, which is your main focus, and then you have a minor, which is only focused on that
All right.
on that course.
As we keep it not moving. So how then do we unite a divided nation? Because I strongly believe that America is a divided country.
Yes.
As like many other countries. Don't come for me. So how can we claim greatness as the United States if citizens are more divided than ever, especially after this Trump win? We're seeing a lot, even before, we're seeing a lot of division, among citizens.
A lot of division.
You know, and like we mentioned now, political polarization and systematic inequalities, they've created a deep divide among the American citizens, making it harder to address issues collectively. So how then we then stand boldly and say, America is the greatest country in the world when there's such a big divide among the citizens.
A big divide among the citizens, black, you got white, you got Spanish, it's a big divide among every Republican, Democratic, Muslim, Christians. It's a big divide among every, so how can it be the greatest country in the world?
I want to give it a good example of 9/11. America showed that they could stand together, come together. I mean, wow. They put aside their differences and they focused on the subject matter. And that was a great example to the world that they can be united. When that attack happened, the whole of America went into mourning.
Yes.
And then they strategized ways in which to keep America safe going forward. Yeah. And I can boldly say that America is the only country, I stand to be corrected, when you come into it from another country where you get stripped almost naked in airports. Take off your shoes, take off your belt, take off your... It's the only country, trust me, that you have to strip because they put safety first. Yes. And I love that about this country. This 100 milliliter thing came from the United States, carrying transparent bags. You can't bring in big containers of liquids, blah, 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 into the airplane. All America. Because they're trying to keep the country and its citizens safe. Yes. And they do take the country's safety as a priority, like they really, really look after its citizens. Say there's something happening outside of the country where there's American citizens, the embassies there, the consulate there, they will work overtime to make sure that their citizens are safe and are taken out of that whatever situation. So I take my hat off for America for that, for always putting their citizens first.
Because 9/11 is good example where everyone came together, doesn't matter
despite
where you
the
came from.
Yep.
Despite the differences. Yep. Another good example, George Floyd, despite the differences, a lot of people came together.
Is that a good question? A good example? George Floyd? I think only black Americans.
No, white Americans.
Well, some.
Well, those who not really... Those who are not racist, yes. Yeah. But you got yes, a lot of people are racist, but those that
Let's not say a lot. Let's say some people.
yes, some people. But even like the civil rights movement, you got people came together to fight for freedom.
Because there are white people who are against racism. Not all white Americans are racist.
Yes.
That's a fact.
So, but 9/11 is a good example because that's one thing that doesn't matter what race, if you was racist or wasn't racist, that's the one time that everyone stood together. So even the racist people stood together with the non-racist people. So but George Floyd, yes, only the non-racist people, was able to stand. They stood for justice and equality. Yes.
Does America still lead the way in innovation and opportunity? You think? What do you think?
They still are, but China is catching up to them.
Ooh, China is definitely up
catching
there.
up. Yeah,
so the US has been the global leader in innovation, but competitors like China are catching up rapidly in fields like AI and green energy. So, look at Silicon Valley, where majority of our technology is based there. They're doing pretty good, but we have a lot of challenges in that place too, where we know that majority of their, I won't say majority, but some of their resources are from China. American. They get some of their stuff, like they employ people in China or in third world countries to push whatever agendas that they have
Silicon
to make it
is
cheaper.
Is mostly white America in C-suites, yes.
Yeah. So I think the important thing is that America should not double down on STEM, because it's an important subject to get America to remain the greatest country in the world, and try not to import or export. I don't know which one is the right word. Certain skills.
Yes.
In certain.
I think that's what Trump's trying to do too.
Yeah.
That's one thing. Trump,
make America great again.
Yeah, with ton of the countries that
things should remain in America.
In America,
don't try and employ out of, because you're taking jobs away from the Americans, and that's what you said. Even people who are graduates in America find it hard to find jobs now because some jobs go to outsiders.
Yes. Yeah. So I think that's what he's trying to do as well. But the thing is too, now it's who's gonna be for only white American, or is it gonna be for all people in
Americans? Yeah.
That's the thing, because now we're gonna see, even with this, it could be an episode on its own with the taking away the diversity and inclusion. Let's see these companies that had to adopt it. Are you going to go back?
Countries like Disney, Walmart, to list a few, have already started to fire.
Wait, they fire?
Yeah.
So
fire people who, especially those in high-ranking positions, who are placed there, or they were forced to place there because of diversity, inclusion. So.
They could, because here's the thing too.
So the question is, do they really want to be diverse,
or they just want to hire their brothers? They the people that look just like them. Do they really want diversity? Because diversity is good, because everyone have different
a chance,
but not just that. Everyone have their different perspectives, and so and everyone can play his roles, because everyone see things differently, because you've seen it from a different perspective.
Right.
Sometimes black people perspective sometimes
seeing it from a different lens.
A different lens, because a lot of times we see things also from a struggle, from our environment and our
experiences.
and our experiences. So that's can help a company, because we've seen it from that experience. If you've never been through that, how can you share from that experience?
How then can we reclaim cultural leadership in America? How does America's global influence still make it great, you think? Because, listen, I grew up on American songs and American movies, and hence, for me, America at one point was like the goal country. Like, it was really a dream.
Well, I think the music is still globally, sets the trends.
No, actually, true, but also some countries like South Africa, for example,
They set the trends too.
they are setting trends. Like Amapiano.
Because of social media.
We've now because now we've now realized that let's embrace our own cultures and our own origins and creativity instead of embracing other countries. Let us push our own stuff instead of pushing other people's stuff. Because there was a point in South Africa, I'm making South Africa an example because I was born there and I lived there for quite some time, where probably 80% of music that was played on radios
was American.
Yeah, boy.
Was American.
Hence, that's why it influenced us to the fact that we thought only good things happen in America. Only Americans make music.
But social media can't show that.
But that was even before social media time, and so that's why we looked up to America, thinking they're the only ones who can make movies. They're the only ones that can sing. They're the only ones who can do that and this and this and that. And when we then started to embrace our own culture, our own stuff, then we started seeing ourselves go on the map and started really, started influencing other people. Because in order to influence and have impact, you have to put yourself out there. Mm-hmm. And unfortunately, South Africa for some time couldn't because they were under the apartheid regime. And through that, the country was sanctioned. So nothing was getting out. Mm. So when sanction is like you're in jail.
Yeah, you're in jail.
So everything is locked in. Nobody can, it's like North or South Korea, I don't know which one it is, where Lil Kim is, We know that with him, everything is, they've done it, they have a lot of sanctions on the country because of how he treats the people. So we don't really know what goes inside, and unfortunately the artists there, the actors, they are not exposed to what's happening in the global world. So same thing was happening in South Africa. And same thing I think happened in America during slavery, but that was like over 400 years ago, so it's not even a subject. But what I'm saying is the more countries get exposed out there, the more they're able to be impactful.
Yes. Because everyone, go back to that diversity and inclusion, everyone has their advantages. And to me, Black people is one of the most creative people in the world.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Because, we the one that sets the trend. We one that...
Most trends.
Yeah, most trends. We don't want that do most of the innovation. It's just that a lot of us don't get the credit, or a lot of us have been stolen. And
but let's give America credit.
Yes.
For having been so good in their marketing strategy.
Oh yeah, that's what it was.
They sold America so well.
Show you what they want you to see.
Absolutely.
And now because of social media, they can't hide any of that no more.
Unfortunately,
they can't
because everybody has a phone with a camera.
Everyone have a phone and social media. Social media is global.
Yeah.
Internet worldwide, and it goes www. It's not www for a reason. It's a worldwide internet.
But I can still strongly, firmly say Hollywood is still one of the best cultural exports in the world.
Yes, it is.
It's still music. It remains powerful in music, in movies, in even just impact. Because people still look up to it. Whether social media is telling us this or that, but we still look up to American actors, American actresses, American musicians, the dress code, the global. I mean, their influence.
Yes, and now here's the thing, though, y'all looking up to them. Guess what's going because of social media and Netflix. Now Americans is looking up to places like South Africa,
absolutely,
and Nigeria,
because they
the
see
music and the movies. You got a lot of people in America that love South African music.
Of course, Amapiano. Who doesn't love Amapiano? Who doesn't like Afrobeats?
The African movies, even though they can't understand it.
There's subtitles for that. Hello.
Even though they can't understand it, but they still love the movies.
Absolutely.
So because of the exposure, again, goes back to exposure.
Thank God Netflix.
Thank God for things like Netflix and social media, because of exposure.
And social media.
Yes, now the rest of the world is seeing the talent that's in places like South Africa and the rest of the world that we couldn't see before. So yes, other countries still love the American culture, whatever, but now America's starting to adapt the American country. A lot of things, because of slavery, a lot of the stuff, like you say about apartheid, was hidden from black
world,
people.
yeah.
America was the same way. We was hidden from, because we wasn't saying shit, but you said black people.
Yeah.
It's like we were saying shit because they hidden a lot of things from South Africa.
From the world.
From the world, because what they told us about Africa, it was dirty, it was sickly. The people was, that's all you see, babies that's sick. So we thought Africa was a poor country. Because that's what they were showing us.
I remember when I first met your family. I will never forget that day. Where one of your nephews said to me, "Oh, she's from Africa? Oh my God. Is your country really would have kids that are starving?"
But that's what
I wanted to cry.
But that's what they showed us because of because we had less exposure, and they only showed us what they wanted us to see. But guess what? They was going to South Africa. They was going to other parts of
steal
Africa.
our diamonds.
They was going there because they knew the beauty of it. They knew the treasure of it, and they wanted to benefit from it. They wanted to benefit and start buying up things and keep a lot of the stuff from us.
Yeah.
And then the ones to see
us, meaning
the black community, the black and brown community. They want us to see how beautiful Africa was, you know, so that we could go there and experience it as well and buy things or whatever. So yeah, it was the same thing in Africa as well as America. But social media and the worldwide internet, the internet exposed America for what it is and exposed the rest of the world for what it is. Now we're able to see it and experience it because of social media.
Questions when it comes to, is America really the greatest country in the world? Because you look at, like we said in the beginning, the metrics.
Yes.
That
it's lacking in a lot of areas.
In a lot of areas.
And the really strong thing America have that the rest of the world don't have is the military. Everything else is lacking. The education is lacking.
Yeah.
The healthcare is lacking, and the diversity and cultural experience is lacking because is America really happy?
Yeah.
You know, so it depends who you speak to. They lack it in a lot of areas that determine to be great.
So we can agree that according to the matrix,
yes,
which I'm going to go through some of them very quickly,
America is lacking.
America does lack.
Does lack.
And we can agree that the word greatest is really subjective.
Yes, it's subjective.
So
it's in the eyes of the beholder.
Exactly. So in things like economic power, the U.S. has the largest economy in the world, with the GDP exceeding 25 trillion in 2023. So that, I believe, then we could say they are leading.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Well, economic power,
because it leads in innovation.
Yes.
And it houses companies like Apple, Google, Tesla, and is a major player in international trade and finance. So the U.S. really, truly serves as the world's
greatest
currency.
Economic powers. But you got countries like China and other countries and Russia.
Catching up.
It's catching up.
Military strength like China and Russia. So the U.S. has the world's largest military budget, which is over $800 billion annually.
Yeah, most of our debt is in the military.
Yeah, because they take the safety of their citizens, and which is a good thing.
Yeah, most of our debt is for the military.
It maintains a significant global military presence, and with bases in over 70 countries, because they're trying to protect their interests. Okay? Its military technologies and capabilities are among the most advanced. So we give America that. It has the best military.
Yes.
Okay? Cultural influence. We just spoke about that. The U.S. is home to Hollywood, and which dominates global entertainment. We cannot take that away from America. No. Soft power, American culture through their music, movies, brands, and social media shapes global trends.
Yes, it does.
There's a lot of artists in America who the world looks up to.
I would say with that, mostly African American culture shapes the trend.
Education and research. The U.S. is home to many of the world's top universities, including Harvard, MIT, and Stanford, right? And it invests heavily in research and development, leading in Nobel Prize winners and groundbreaking discoveries. We can give America that.
Yes, but they're not the best education, though.
That
I don't think.
Like
I think
we said,
they got good
that's a topic for
institutions.
another
Yes,
day.
they got good institutions. But again, those institutions is Ivy League, and I think a lot of times, because I'm learning now, most education is the same. They coming from the same books. The only reason why you would go to the schools like that is because the network.
And also the how it's been advertised.
Prestige,
like,
yes.
prestige,
Because of the network. Because you got the professors in there, is CEOs for Fortune 100, Fortune 500 companies. So, if you go to a place like Harvard or Stanford or MIT and you don't network with these students that's, that
coming from affluent families.
influential families, rich families, and then you got professors that's CEOs from Fortune 100. If you don't network, you're doing yourself a disservice. That's why don't spend $50,000 for education when you need to get that at a Rutgers University.
Political and social systems.
Okay.
The U.S. is often seen as a symbol of democracy and individual freedoms, where we have what is called freedom of speech.
Yes.
And hence, that's why I'm saying, people shouldn't come for me when I'm saying certain things that don't agree with them, because I live in a country where there's freedom of speech. I can speak my mind without having to feel the fear of being imprisoned, because there are countries where you cannot speak your mind.
Yes.
Otherwise, you'll be imprisoned, because if you're not politically correct for that country, then you are most likely going to be jailed for that.
Yes.
So America, kudos on you for being that. But I stand to be corrected on this one with what happened when Donald Trump lost the election, when they tried to do a coup and change this country from being a democratic country.
Yeah.
So the question, and his followers still stood by the fact that election was stolen. But when he won...
Even if he won, they still think it's stolen. It was stolen.
Exactly. Well, he won this time around.
I know, but they still think the last time was stolen,
They
too.
still think it was stolen.
How it was stolen? He won. Come on, he won.
Yeah.
He won. He lost fair and square in 2020, and he won this time.
Yeah.
So
Fair and square.
Fair and square.
Yeah.
He lost fair and square. He won fair and square.
So we look at things that...
So stop being a sore loser. And that's all it is. To me, it's a sore loser. You're a
Right.
sore loser because now...
Because you cannot always win.
Yeah, you can't always win.
Yeah.
You can't always win. This time he did better with his campaign and his promotion. That's why he won. And thanks to Elon Musk. That was the big reason why he won. Elon Musk was the cause of his winning.
Let's keep on moving, because
Even though
we're running out of time.
You can go
For
back.
immigration, it attracts millions of people seeking opportunities, because it has been marketing itself as a country of opportunity. What do you call it? The land of opportunity. Freedom and better quality of life. But that begs the question, for a person who lives in America and has been to almost all neighborhoods, good and bad, I've seen that the quality of life is not really great for everybody. It's like any other country where you have the good, you have the bad, and you have the ugly. So
you know what though? Again, I blame the people for this, because America did their part. They promoted opportunity. Right. So,
but promotion is different from providing.
But here it is though.
You can promote it, but is it really there?
But here's the thing. They said the land of opportunity so much that the other world really believe that. So they come here and they take advantage of every opportunities that's in America. Now, because Americans, we don't see it. So we don't take advantage of a lot.
But that's common to most citizens in their own countries.
In their own countries.
Yeah, I've lived I'm privileged enough to have lived in 3 continents, and I know that each citizen, let me not say all, but most citizens in their own countries, they very relaxed.
Yes.
And they don't see the opportunities. Hence, immigrants come in and they do and work hard and do
what they got to do to survive and to live.
And to be able to send money back home.
To send
Human rights, the U.S. has a strong advocate for human rights through its record I mean, quality of life, we spoke about that already, but just to summarize, the U.S. leads in medical research and the development of treatments, but
it's still the sickest.
It's still the sickest country, and it offers high living standards for many, and inequality really persists.
Well, we said one of the sickest countries in the world.
One of,
yes, because you got a lot of third world countries that's also sick, but because of first world.
Yeah, being in the first
being
world.
the first one and still and have a bad.
We have a high expectation. Yeah. Okay, global leadership. The U.S. plays a pivotal role in international organizations like the United Nations. We have the HQ, the headquarters, right in New York. I'm pointing here because it's right next door. The NATO, the World Bank, they are all based in the United States. And it often leads in addressing global challenges like climate change, which our current president is against. He doesn't believe there's climate change, and that's a topic for another day. Though its role has been inconsistent because, we have leaders who believe it and leaders who don't. So here's some areas of criticism as we close, because with this episode I've gone on for a while, but we had to talk about all these things because they're important. And it's been a topic in my household because my father. My husband is American. I'm South African. Third world country, first world country. And having lived here for almost 10 years now, I don't see all those things that were pushed in my face as I was growing up thinking that America is the best country in the world. It has flaws like every other country. Mm-hmm. No country in the world is perfect. Every country can improve in certain areas. Mm-hmm. And yes, there are certain things like we've addressed that are really great, but there are certain things like some that I'm going to speak on right now that aren't that great. Income equality and poverty. Mm-hmm. It's very prevalent in this country. You can actually see as you move from one city to the next. I'll make an example. We live in New Jersey. If you living in South Orange, for example, mm-hmm. moving into Newark, mm-hmm. what a difference. Like a block away, then you realize, I've moved into a different neighborhood.
Yes.
Because
it can be like that too.
It just changes like that.
You can be on one block and then the next block is
totally different.
Or you can be in one neighborhood and then keep driving down. Yeah. You can start seeing a change.
Yeah. So higher healthcare costs.
Drama-centric.
Despite advancements. The healthcare costs are crazy.
Yes.
Majority of the people cannot afford. Political polarization and systematic racism is still rampant. We know that a lot of Black people, men and women, are still dying from systematic racism, police brutality, mm-hmm. you name it. Gun violence and mass incarceration. We know that most of the minorities are dying from gun violence, from police brutality, and majority of minorities are being incarcerated. These are all things that are happening in this country, and which really put a stain in this country as being the greatest country in the world. So the perception of greatness ultimately depends on how one weighs these strengths and weaknesses relative to other nations. Mm-hmm. So as we close, you'd like to close? What would you like to say as your final thoughts? Your final thoughts. You don't have to close. Your final thoughts.
Well, I would say greatness is
subjective.
Yeah, it's subjective. And it's not a destination, it's a journey. And it's not just a title. One to say, they're great, but again, it's just, you can have the title greatness, but that don't mean you great. It's just like, you could call yourself a CEO mm-hmm. or a pastor, but that don't mean you're a good CEO. That don't mean you're a good pastor. You got mm-hmm. bad pastors, you got bad CEOs. Yeah. So, that because you had the title don't mean you great. Yeah. That because America coined herself mm-hmm. the greatest country in the world, mm-hmm. that don't mean you're great. Yeah. Because, again, there's a lot involved to be great. Yeah. And as we see, America lack in a lot of different areas.
And they're also good in a lot of different areas. And on that note, we want to remind you to subscribe, like, and share. Tell us what your thoughts are.
Yes.
Thank you for tuning in. See you in the next video.
Yes.
Take
Deuces.
care. Bye-bye.